I'm joined with Targamas after an unfortunate defeat to Team Liquid 2-1. Targamas, I just want to start off by saying, we were very surprised to see the Lucianami Game 3. Were you guys on KC just as surprised, or was that, something you guys expected?
I think it's always something that comes up like in the later games, like in Fearless, right? It's especially when both AD carry and support drop to 4-5 and they pick together, it's for sure something they can go for. I think we were not sure what they would play, but probably what to say for them. Like it's always hard to know, especially when we are not like that familiar with the players, like what they like to play. Yeah, I think it was fine for us. Like it was nothing very surprising.
Was there anything that surprised you in the game, whether it's draft or whatnot? I know APA has his specific champions with Aurelion Soul. You guys were banning the Zig, so obviously you guys were aware.
Yeah, I think the drafts went kind of as expected. Like we had a good prep. Like we knew what they wanted to play. Like top lane mostly play like the tanks, right? And mid we know that he's very good on like the Ziggs, the Talia, the Asol as well counter pick. Like we knew this was something he wanted to go for, but Vladi was really confident in the matchup, and I mean he showed, right. He didn't want to ban the Orion Soul, even though we knew he was gonna pick it. Yeah, like even the game 3, we knew kind of they were gonna first pick Talia if we leave it open, so everything went kind of as discussed, and then it's just a matter of if we're all right or if we actually have like maybe a wrong read on some jumps.
What about the lane swaps? I know a lot of people are talking about lane swaps being gone, but it looked like after 4 minutes you can kind of sort of lane swap. How has that affected like your preparation, your play style?
Yeah, of course. I think well, you have to lane the first levels. At least that's something, right? So of course, some champions like Jace, Nar, like those champions that are really like good, like on top lane in the lane, are rising up again in priorities, right? So whereas towards the end of the winter split, I would say that the tanks like Asante or stuff like that have had really hard prior because of the swaps. So this is a bit different. But of course, there is still like the grubs, and if your top laner or your bot lane is in a bad situation, you can always just swap at 4 minutes or 5 or 6 and kind of decide that one team is going to have grubs and then the other team is playing for the drakes. So yeah, but I think it's something that we are very aware of, and the only difference is, yeah, the level 1 swap that is not a thing anymore.
All right, so it sounds like it wasn't like too big of a shakeup. It's kind of understood what these changes mean.
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah.
I actually want to talk about your career now on Carmine Corp. Well, first, obviously, you won with G2 way back when. I think you and Yike are the first G2 players to win on G2 and then win off of G2, which is an accomplishment. Usually people don't win off of G2. But your time on Carmine Corp has been like kind of up and down. Last year it wasn't the greatest showing for Carmine Corp. Just you personally, how do you mentally like preserve going from finishing way below expectation to winning a championship?
Well, I think, I think I've always had like the drive and the passion inside me, and for me, I know that I'm a good player, right? I know what I'm capable of because of like the scrims, the past 4 or 5 years, because of the solo queue. Like I know it's not like 1 or 2 splits that define a player. Maybe for a lot of like the fans or the people on Twitter, or even like some coaches or some managers, they often like are very quick to judge on a player, like just based off 1 or 2 bad splits, right? But I think the conditions are very important, like the team environment and everything. And I think this explains most of the time like bad results. So for me, it never really discouraged me of anything. Like I've always had the confidence that I can get myself back up at the top, right? and it's just a matter of like yeah, KC just trusted me, right? They didn't trust the other players from the last year roster, but they kept their faith in me, and for that I'm very grateful, and I'm also just very happy that I can pay it back in a way with like the this first trophy this year. But of course we are aiming for more.
I think KC have such a unique fan base where even in Korea, people booked tickets when all the way to Korea were not able to get tickets and are standing outside the lobby. Like there are just like tens and tens, like dozens of KC fans just watching the game outside of Wall Park. This is like a
Yeah,
very
that's
different level of fandom. How do you like internalize having such passionate fans that are willing to like fly 14 hours to not even be on stage?
well, I think it's amazing, right? I think the club ever since the creation, it's been a wonderful story, right? In esports, it's not something you see a lot. Most of the time, I think the teams that have the most fans are the team that win. You get fans because you win, right? That's how it works in esports. And for us, I mean, of course, KC has like a good history of winning as well. Um, in the ERLs in Europe, like back then when we started, we won everything instantly. But we still have like a lot of fans that support the club, right? No matter the results, they are gonna support the club, and that's just amazing to have because yeah, it just also gives even more motivation to everyone that works for the club, like not only the players, the team, but also just everyone. It just gives more motivation to do a better job and to please the fans, right?
Do you feel like a celebrity? Because it kind of feels like you guys are celebrities. Like when you had that KC event in Kanagum-san and every like the entire stadium is roaring. It really feels like you guys have become celebrities. Does it feel like that way to you as well?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we are still very far from like the football or the singers or all those cinema stars. Like we are still very far from that. Like I can still go into street and no one would recognize me. So no, I wouldn't say that we are celebrities, but yeah, it's for sure uh, a special feeling, right? When we get to play on stage at the KCX with so much people watching and like 30, 40K people buying their tickets and then just chanting your name. This is for sure like a privilege that we have at KC and that I'm very like grateful to be a part of.
All right, my last question is actually about scrims. I know that you guys are the last team to finish like from a major region to like actually win. By the time you guys probably got to Korea, probably like the opportunity to scrim between like Riot Media Days and all that stuff. I'm assuming you had like maybe one day of scrims. Um, how has like scrimming so far been for you guys?
Well, yeah, as I said, I think we didn't have much time. Like yesterday was actually our first like real day of scrim that we had since we arrived here. But yeah, it's for sure not like a bit of a disadvantage compared to the other teams, but we have to deal with it. I think we're gonna squeeze in like as much scrims as possible. Like even on the match days, right? We're gonna scrim like before the match if we can, or after. Like it depends when we play the games. So for sure it's gonna be like very exhausting. But we knew it. Like when we before we came here, we knew that it was gonna be a very packed and very exhausting 10 days here in Korea. Like there was not going to be a single day where we can actually rest. But I think the stakes of the tournament and everything like just is going to give us a drive to give our best like till the end, right? Especially today we had a very bad game and I think everyone is like very frustrated about it, but also we all want to do better for the rest of the tournament. We don't just want to be here and like be a joke for Europe, right? We want to have a better showing. So I think we all are going to be very motivated to use the time we have like to practice a lot and play the games.
All right, well, I appreciate doing this. Hopefully, yeah, I get to interview many more times in international events. I know that not just KC fans are behind you, but all of Europe's fans are behind you. So you guys might be down, but you're definitely not out. And good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye. Let's go, Liquid. Oh my God, I'm so happy that we won. It's after that game too, man. My heart, oof. I was nervous, but shout out to Targamas for being a champ and just like talking through it. You didn't. There are some people who after a loss are very difficult to like get them to speak. He was a champ. Obviously, I tried not to talk too much about the game and talk more about his career and whatnot. When someone loses, it's kind of hard to like be like, okay, so in game three when you were fighting, why did you not press like exhaust on Lucian and have your Zeri die? Like you don't really want to ask these kind of questions. Maybe you do. I don't know. Oh, sometimes I do when I'm like mainly to NA pros when I'm like, why did you do that? But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to KC fans. If you haven't seen like the pictures of them literally camping, just they flew in, weren't able to get tickets because it was completely sold out, and we're just sitting outside watching it on like a big projector. It's that level of motivation, fans. I hope to distill this in North America. So we have the same level of fandom for Shopify and for all the other teams optionally, but specifically for Shopify too. And I'll see you for more interviews. I have no idea what's gonna happen with uh interviews moving forward. I might talk about it on the live stream later today, but after every day of streams towards like at night EST time, I'm probably gonna stream and just like give my recaps and talk about some of the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes. All right, peace, y'all.